I've been in this game for years. It's made me an animal. There's rules to this here. I wrote me a manual, a step-by-step booklet for you to get your campaign on track and not your hopes pushed back. Numero uno. Don't be a carpetbagger. All right? Like, I know, started off with a little bit of Biggie, but do not be one of these assholes that come from, you know, anywhere else except for the place that you aim to represent, and then aim to represent the people of that place, because that is the definition of a carpetbagger. And we are at another Atheism is Unstoppable video where he's decided to go after this gentleman here, Cenk Uyger of the Young Turks. Now, if you are unfamiliar with the Young Turks, they are a quote-unquote progressive news outlet here on this platform. Well, here on YouTube. I'm not sure if they have a BitChute account, but deal is that I myself watched them, right, up until about that whole Bernie getting screwed over by the DNC thing, and them sitting there saying, oh yeah, we're gonna go with Hillary Clinton anyway, because guess what, everybody in 2016 actually showed their true colors, and they're acting like people aren't supposed to recognize that and see it, you know? And he is amongst them. So he's taken it upon himself to go after Katie Hill's seat. Now, I've done a video on Katie Hill where she put all these very illicit photos of herself up on the internet, and then tried to say, oh my goodness, it was a revenge and all this other nonsense. But she's gone now. She resigned, and her seat's wide open. And so this gentleman right here, who's helped get the likes of AOC and Rashida Tlaib and Alexandria Ocasio, yeah, well, that's AOC. And what's the other? There's two more. Tlaib, Omar, and Presley into, you know, Congress. He's like, you know what? My turn. I'm about to go do it myself. And so he does an interview on CNN. Devin breaks down that interview that he does on CNN. And I am going to break down Devin breaking down the interview on CNN because, you know, hey, the bleeps need to represent, son. Let's go.
Oh, did I hear a hard R on that carpetbagger?
You're a carpetbagger.
Okay, yeah, this is a whole, like, minute of music. We're not getting into all that. Let's go.
Geek! He's cuckoo for Kiki Pops. Okay, so here we have Geek! And he's pulling some strings. One of those strings is Mario Cuomo. He's been on the show before. Now he's running for Congress, so he rings him up. He's like, hey, buddy. My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy.
Okay, something that I think nobody ever mentions or brings up is how that came out around the same time, roughly, as the Child's Play dolls, and what psychological trauma that could inflict on people, particularly of younger ages, watching Child's Play and seeing My Buddy dolls and being like, yo, what?
Hook a brother up, let me get some exposure, let me paint a nice picture of myself. But Mario ain't playing that. He actually comes at him with some hard questions and some pushback, which I like. A fair interview. The guy has my respect.
You're not from there. Yep. Overcome them.
So, first of all, I'm going to prove that this mythology that progressives can't win in purple districts is totally wrong. We represent the voters way better. So, for example...
This is just bluster. It's a lie. This is something he tells himself. He's like, we're on the right side. He's so convinced. He's so deeply in his bubble that he doesn't realize he just doesn't poll. People don't agree with him. They don't like him. They don't like his brand, his personality, anything about him.
Strong progressives run uncorrupted. So I'm going to run against bribery. All the corporate campaign contributions are bribed.
So here is his assertion that he is not corrupt, but everyone else is corrupt. And the evidence of this, apparently it's just if you receive money. If you receive money, it's a bribe. That means you're corrupt. Now, Cenk receives money from both people and corporations, but somehow that doesn't apply to him. Why? Well, see point A. He said he wasn't corrupt.
Well, here's where I feel there's a bit of some missing context. Because, see, what a lot of Americans fail to realize is that campaigning and political campaigns it's an industry. in and of itself. There are people whose complete livelihoods is going into places and getting the amount of votes, getting the, you know what I'm saying, getting manipulating the public, manipulating public perception, or just, you know, hitting the ground and banging out canvassing and the like. And a lot of these progressive groups, they, you know, like, it's one of the scarier parts about charity, right? Because let's say you give to one of these organizations, and what they do with that money is they, you know, they hire people and bring them on and keep them on, and then they use them as, you know, attack teams. I was a part of one. So that's how that operates. And thusly, when you have that type of money coming in and going, you know, people can run just on the strength of, you know, I got enough money to be able to make more money doing this on the back end, and all of it goes towards this thing called overhead, you know, where, oh, the cost of doing the business, the cost of keeping the lights on, you know, and you can charge and skim, and that's really where all that comes from. So the desire to run, the desire to, like the benefits of doing it are potentially way higher. It just improves the profile for the most part.
So this is the circular logic. It means nothing. He has no point. He looks repellent and he smells like shit. Go ahead.
That's what they are. And you know what? Democrats know that, but Republicans know that as well. That's part of the reason that Trump won. He said, drain the swamp.
Yeah, you're really going to get the Republican votes of California. Are you dumb? Are you deluded? Give up.
People hate the corruption, and progressives are clearly against corruption. When the Nancy Pelosi's of the world say, no, and we've got to run as corporate Democrats in purple districts, who are they trying to appeal to?
See, the word moderate never comes up, right? Because that's really where the line is right now. Either you're a moderate or you're off in, you know, loony land on whichever side that you've decided to rock up with, whether it be the blue side, which Cenk ultimately represents to me, because they're like, oh my goodness, I'm a progressive. All right, cool. Yeah, you want to represent the blue team. Sure, fine, whatever. But the deal is that moderation will always be like a better selling point. Like, hey, look, yeah, these things do need to be approached, but how the hell can you approach these things when you coming in there wilding the way that you are, and the way that AOC has, and all these other things that are more shine than substance? Can you dig it? It's like, and these groups, particularly these progressive groups, and I notice it with TYT too, you know, they're more racist and authoritarian than the you know, people that they claim to want to fight and represent, right? Like, it's always some form of enemy. Like, oh my goodness, we have an enemy. It just can't be a clashing of ideas. It's about, oh, them over there, they want to just destroy you, not me. No, bro. That's how they sell the bullshit.
People, moderate people, centrist people, independent people, disaffected Republicans.
Dude, the people in 25th District don't want big corporations running them. They've been screwed by that.
What about the you're not us?
Yes, so I'm going to move to the district, and it's a fair point.
I'm gonna move to the district? Anyone want to place bets that he never moves to the district? He said, I'm gonna move. He has been in the same house for years. His wife has a job out there. He has a job out there. Kids go to school out there. He can't just move. What, is he going to sell his house? Buy a new...
And the more important thing that I know he's not about to touch on is the fact that you don't know the people there. Those aren't your neighbors. Those aren't the people that you see every day. And yes, we as Americans, we are more separated from our neighbors than ever, to a point where Cory Booker can come into Newark and become mayor, right? But at the same time, like, you know, still, like, when it comes to authenticity, the fact that you're not from there, like, it's no different. Like, it was able to work in Essex County and in Newark with Cory Booker primarily because the place, like, the 90s was just... Woo! The time in which, you know what I'm saying, like the time during Sharp James was so just, it was so nuts that most people had up and left. The people of their right minds and who were genuine and authentic, they said, you know what, screw it. I got to take my family out of here, and I want my family to have a better life. And, you know, they bounced and they skated, and they continue to skate to this very second because of the terrible policies that had been enacted in such areas. And so when you get to these areas, you know, it's like there are people who are there. There are people who care. But at the same time, they're usually so misled, misguided, and misdirected that you know, like it doesn't really make a lot of sense to them. But when it comes to, you know, this district right here, I think it's California's 25th. I mean, Cenk, you have no history with those people at all. You are literally just airdropping in. And they'll be able to sniff that out. They'll be able to sniff through your bullshit, my guy. But like I said, it's an industry.
This rent a place? What do you mean you're moving to the district? How long do you think that process takes? We're voting in March. I guarantee you he doesn't move to the district. He's a goddamn carpetbagger.
Hey, they say you got to come here to represent me. That's right. My wife's a saint. She's
No, your wife has Stockholm Syndrome.
got a job near where we live now, but she said, yes, we're willing to move. So I can't wait to go there. It's a wonderful community. I've been all over the district. I love it. Can't wait to move. And you have to think about it this way, Chris.
But that's the thing. You can't represent it because you're not of it. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, I feel you knocking on the doors and everything else like that, because that's what you're gonna do, but you're not their neighbor. Just saying.
Who do you want?
Not you.
Someone that is going to move in a couple of months and agrees with you completely, or someone who doesn't agree with you at all?
And do you hear the arrogance though? Like it complete agrees with you completely. Are you sure? Like, are you? Hey, there is no complete agreeing with anyone 100% completely on anything. I mean, think about it, guys. Seriously, like when was last? Like my channel is dedicated on people not agreeing with me. Like I expect it. I want it. I look forward to it. Why? Because I like disagreements are what is how you move forward, right? You can't sit there and actually progress by just agreeing all the time or being so damn agreeable. It has to be some kind of clash, some kind of, like, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of, hey, back and forth in determining, you know what I'm saying, like where we can actually, using moderation, come to an accord at. But what he's saying is like, oh yeah, these people just agree with me. Nah, man. Nobody does. And fun fact, he also hired Sean King and then I guess fired Sean. I don't know, like that kind of just dissolved out of nowhere. But yeah, he hired Talcum X as well. And honestly, if you sit there and greenlight that guy, like, oh yeah, he's a black man, get out of my face. I have nothing to say to you.
It happens to be there right now.
Who was that for? Was he talking to a far-left progressive in that district? Well, yeah, you're probably going to get that person's vote. But the problem is, Cenk, and just so you know, you're not here to preach to the choir. You're trying to attain new votes. You're not from the region. You're exploiting this opportunity. You're in this for yourself and your own personal glory. Everyone knows it. Sit down, shut up, and go home.
All right, let's...
And you know what? I think I'm going to take his advice on that one because we've rocked long enough on this video and I've said everything that I had to say. This is an industry. These people, and Cenk's looking to take advantage of that industry as well. Because, I mean, he has to know he has no chance of winning. Because if you're going to do anything by getting into that race, you're just going to split the vote and possibly even make it possible for a Republican red team to get in there. And at this point, with California being as it is, they need the competition. That is why I'm not against the red team, because I want the red team to, you know, to be able to compete against the blue team, but nobody has any good damn ideas. Like, and it's irritating the shit out of me. I just watched the New Jersey GOP post about Cookie Day. Like, yeah, oh, National Cookie Day. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is bullshit. Like, yo, like the pensions, the taxes, all this other stuff. National Cookie Day. You're just this... It's bad, man. It's gotten bad with how vapid and redundant and ridiculous American politics are. And it's at every freaking level. From the state to the county to the municipal. It's bad. Alright? And thank you, Devin, for giving me an opportunity to discuss it. And Cenk Uyger, even though I won't vote for you guys. And I stopped watching these guys a long time ago. When, like, they would just randomly have the Negro come from the back and say, hey, yeah, man, this is black stuff. Oh, and it's like, okay, yeah, you got that. That's your token that gives you the green light to be, like, you know, the racist pricks that you are. Like, when I was with the progressive group that I was with, the quote-unquote progressive group, Working Families, right? We went out to Chicago for the Chuy Garcia versus Rahm Emanuel race. That's how I know how these things operate. And the deal is that, where you think they stuck my black ass? They stuck my black ass in the South Side. I mean, is because it's me. I'm got the confidence of, you know, 10,000 lions just running through the jungle. So, you know, ain't nobody really gonna mess with us. So, so it's not that I can't adapt or I can't adjust, but like, yo, it's still kind of fucking racist to sit there and toss the one black guy out into the south side of Chicago and everybody else is in, like, you know, nicer parts. But either ways, guys, we're gonna wrap this one on up. All the internet stuff. If you liked it, toss it a like, dislike, go ahead, do that too. Nobody's scared of you. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice. You want to get videos like this every single day. Share because sharing is caring. And YouTube and BitChute and like aren't the biggest fans of your boy over here. Bang the bell for notifications, because if you want to sub and you want to share, then you want to know when a new one is dropping and speak. Let me know, what do you guys think in the comments. I mean, like, Cenk Uyger has no chance in hell of winning this race. All he's doing is muddying the waters, which, you know, it's something that's infuriating to me. Because if you've been a long time sub, you know, like, I've my history with candidates that are just there to muddy waters and not actually get anything legitimate done for the people that they aim to represent. So it's a frustrating thing for me. Have you ever had that type of that type of situation go on? Hey, what did you think of the 10 Crack Commandments, huh? What do you think of the song? Not my rendition, but the 10 Crack Commandments, the song. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And until the next one.